This is Matt for Into Boxing. I am delighted to be joined by Frank Smith. Frank, how's things going?
Yeah, good. Good to be down here at BXR today for the workout ahead of Saturday's big show. No, everything's good. Good schedule coming up.
Yeah, we're doing it at Ali Pali this weekend, normally associated with the darts, but should be a good atmosphere with the Romford Bull. He's got about 3,000 tickets sold. Should be good.
Yeah, definitely. We do a lot there. We've got the darts, as you say. We do the pool there, snooker, a load of events we've staged at Ali Pali. It's a great venue, and looking forward to what's going to be an amazing atmosphere in there. They do a lot of gigs and music in there in the hall we're in, but we're going to have over 6,000 people in there on Saturday. As you say, Johnny Fisher's done close to 2,500 tickets, which is just insane for a 6-round fight, and the atmosphere is going to be absolutely electric.
It's mad that he's 4-0 and he's already selling out 3,000 worth of tickets. Can you imagine if he progresses as he wants and gets to, we say, European world level, what the turnout will be if he comes down here and does a show?
Yeah, I mean, look, I was speaking to Big John, who said he'd do.
Legend.
He's the Bosch legend, isn't he? But he was saying he'd easily do 4,000 tickets if we could have given him for this week. So, I just think the story's only just getting started with him, and there's so much more to come from him, and it's amazing to see. And this is what helps young fighters, because it's changed his life as well. We recently just renegotiated our contract. We've got a long-term deal with him, and it's great to see, because he's a great person, great family, and they've done a great job and they deserve it.
Absolutely, it's a really good story. Let's talk about this main event. Danny Jacobs, Johnryder. It's one of them where I look at and think it sort of propels one back to that world scene where they're going to be close to fighting for a world title. But what happened? What does it mean for the loser of this one? Have they got to have a think? Is it a bit of a crossroads fight, do you think?
Yeah, 100%. Look, it's a big opportunity for whoever comes out as the winner. Ultimately, I think if it's providing it's an exciting fight, and both of them give it 100%, they've both got opportunities. I think Danny Jacobs obviously got a lot of stick coming off the back of the Rosado fight, that it wasn't entertaining, and fair enough. Now it's his opportunity to go out there and prove it. And the fact he's travelling to England, travelling to the UK to fight Johnryder, shows that he's still hungry and still got appetite, within the sport to carry on into those big nights you mentioned. Johnryder as well, he deserves this shot. He deserves this big fight, and he deserves, if he gets the win, he deserves what comes next, because he's been waiting for a long time. We saw when he had the Callum Smith fight, very close fight, questionable decision in many people's eyes, and I think, he deserves this opportunity. But again, they both got to go in there and they both got to deliver. And I think win, lose or draw, if they both go in there and put on great performances, there's many more fights for them. But the winner from here comes on, and there's some big opportunities for them.
Absolutely. Just sort of going down the undercard slightly, Ellie Scotney's fighting for her first title in the professional game. She's coming on a treat. She looks like she's going to be world champion. Is that what you see for Ellie? Moving through with Shane McGuigan at the helm.
Yeah, they want to move very quickly. She's in the ring behind us now. Yeah, first 10-round fight, and I think this is her fifth fight, I believe. And she wants to move on to those world titles very quickly and those big opportunities. So she's taken a big step up, but we believe she's got the ability to do so. And the McGuigans, Shane McGuigan, believes she's a real talent as well. So big nights ahead for her.
100%. You've also got Felix Cash. I can't imagine people will be queuing up to fight him. How close is he to fighting for a world title, do you think?
Yeah, look, but let's be honest, the Madiev fight is a tough fight for him. Yeah. WBA ranked number 3, and fair play to Felix as well, because he's been out for a long time, for personal reasons, and to get straight back in there in this type of fight, you have to respect him for that, because a lot of fighters don't want to do that. A lot of fighters want to take a warm-up fight and then step on from there. He knows that if he wins this fight, the opportunities, he's going to go up in the rankings. The opportunities for him are huge. I know he's speaking a lot about the Eubank Jr fight, which maybe we look at that. But yeah, huge nights ahead for Felix Cash.
Yeah, I think this is for a WBC international title as well, so that'll help him in the rankings too.
Yeah, no, WBC. This is WBC international, as I say. Madiev's WBA ranked number 3 as well. So he's highly he's well respected, Madiev, and he's coming for the win. We just saw him work out there. Looks in great shape. He was actually training for a fight that was supposed to be the weekend just gone. So we got a call and said he's available. It got cancelled due to injury. So he's been ready and he's been working, towards this date.
Should be a great fight. But I just want your thoughts and reflections, because I know you were there on Eubank Jr versus Liam Williams. Eubank Jr, I think, for 5 rounds looked absolutely brilliant, and I think in the press conference he said he hurt his hand, but also he said he was keen for it to go the distance so that he could sort of teach him a lesson. What do you make of his performance against Williams?
No, I thought he looked really good. You know, I think definitely the first five or so rounds, he looked probably the most impressive we've seen in a long time. You know, he said he has hurt his hand. You could see that he injured it. You know, could he have got him out there? I don't know. I wasn't in the ring with him, but you know, I think he maybe a little too much showboating. But
do you not like that though?
I do, but I think there's a balance. But maybe, you know, he's using that because he's hurt his hand as well, so he wants to save using his, you know, I think it was his left hand he hurt. So, but look, great. It was a good performance, good numbers, really strong numbers as well. So, you know, he's let's see what he goes on to from here. You know, I know he's looking for some big fights. A lot of them are tied up. So we'll have to see what they pull out next.
Yeah, at the press conference, and the first I heard it was that Conor Benn had put out on Twitter something to do with a catch weight. I mean, my first thoughts were, wow, first of all, but how weird would that be after all these years, the Son's getting in the ring to have that fight? It'd be history. Yeah,
we'd have to have an argument about whose name went first, wouldn't we? You know,
you can imagine that argument.
I know, wow. Number three, but no, I think that's a fight for down the road. You know, yeah. I don't think that's one for right now. Conor's obviously 147. He's good. He's looking good at that weight. The aim is for him to win a title at that weight. And Chris is 160. He's been up to 168 before. I think it's like, I don't know whether he can bring much weight off that. So where a catch weight comes in is difficult, but that's definitely a fight for down the road. You know, they are also at different stages of their career. Chris is 32. Conor's 24. 23, 24. So, you know, I think that is definitely a fight for the future, but maybe not now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was staggered by it because I just thought the weight difference, depending on how Conor obviously goes on his journey and fills out, but who knows? Right, the big fight that's coming up, we've got Dillian Whyte, Tyson Fury. I know that's not a matchroom event, but when I get your take on it, Dillian Whyte, you must be delighted, finally going to get his chance to go against Tyson for the WBC belt. Yeah, look, it's been a long time coming. Whoever it was against, he wanted to win that WBC world title. He's been waited years and years and years now, but it's great that his time's finally come. And you know, the heavyweight division is in a great place. You know, some huge fights out there to be made after this. Dillian goes in there and knocks out Tyson Fury. Then we see the undisputed fight, hopefully against Anthony Joshua, after he does the same to Alexander Usyk. So, you know, it's good to see. Dillian deserves it. Like I say, waited a long time, and excited for it. I think in all this, step aside, carry on with, we want to see the undisputed, and I completely get that, but for me, from my point of view as well, Dillian's been knocking on the door for bloody years now, and I think the end result is right. But when you look at all this back and forth negotiations and stuff, I think Eddie came out and said that Anthony Joshua didn't really want to have to put with that shame of he stepped aside. I think Lou DiBella commented straight on Twitter, said, but for an extra $5 million he was willing to. Do you know anything about that? Was there a difference in what he would have taken to step aside? Lou DiBella just tries to get involved in things that he has no involvement in, to be honest. You know, not sure how relevant he is in that discussion. But look, Anthony Joshua, his mind was focused on fighting out Alexander Usyk. You know, it's difficult, isn't it? Because everyone's got an opinion that you can't really win, where people say, oh, he's having a rematch, oh, it's rematch room, and, you know, should he have a rematch? Then they say, oh, he's going to step aside and let the other person fight. It's like, well, which one do you want? You want him to have a rematch? Do you want him to step aside and let the undisputed fight happen? Do you want him? But ultimately, if that route would have played out that people were discussing, then he would have ended up fighting the best of the best. Yeah. Because he's always going to be questioned, isn't he? Like, and that's the thing with Anthony Joshua's career. He has done so much for the sport. He has done so much already, and he doesn't really get the respect for it. So, like, he goes out and beats Alexander Usyk in the rematch, right? Yeah. They're still going to say, well, you're not the best yet. They might say he's not the best yet, but in terms of what he's achieved, that would be right up there for me, for what happened in that first fight. Yeah, for me, for you, I agree. But will he get that respect? Because I don't think he gets enough. Personally. Yeah. So, will he get that respect? He goes back in there, fights Usyk again, something Tyson Fury didn't want to go and do. Well, this is the thing. This is why we're always in this position of, we're here one side that Fury wanted March, and apparently we don't know if Usyk was going to be ready for March, and so he was like, then we heard, apparently from this side, Eddie was saying apparently he wanted a warm-up fighting match before he fought him. So we're always going to be asking the question of ifs, buts and whats. But I think anyone, if he beats Usyk in the rematch, that's surely, he must get minimum criticism for that, because that's huge.
He has to 100%. I agree with you. So let's see how it plays out. You know, AJ's fully focused on that, and yeah, some big fights from there if, you know, all goes the right route.
I think as well, we're forgetting, because sorry to keep you, but he's going to be getting what looks like a new trainer. So he's going into the biggest fight of his career, because it is right now today. This is huge. It's not like anything. He's going with a new trainer, and it's his first fight. He's not having like a preliminary bout just to sort of feel his way into it. He's trying to run that fight back, which was one-sided, with somebody completely new. Have you heard anything about when he's going to be looking at announcing something, or any changes or anything like that?
They're working through it. You know, the team's working through it, and I'm sure you'll hear more news soon. You know, AJ's been focused though since that fight in September on improving and, you know, working on a plan for that rematch. So it's not just a case of right now go to work. You know, he's been working on it a long time, and he's got a plan in place that he believes to go in there and do the job. You know, his focus ultimately is become the 3-time heavyweight world champion. And again, I think he has to get respect for the fact that he stepped straight back in there with Andy Ruiz after that first fight. A lot of people would have gone, I'm going to take a warm-up fight and come back. He went back in there, straight back in, and did the job. You know, and I believe he does it again. So he's been working on what plans need to go into practice to get the win this time. You know, so let's see.
Do you think he wins this fight by knockout? A lot of people will say if this goes the distance again in favour of Usyk, does he have to knock Alexander Usyk out in this fight to win?
Do you know what the truth is? I believe that all of these top heavyweights can beat each other on their best night, right? And that is true. Now, whoever's on their best night can beat each other, and that's with all of them. Tyson Fury, Alexander Usyk, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, all in that mix. Even Deontay Wilder as well. They can. Yeah. So, you know, I believe he can beat him. He's shown that he can box as well, but I would like to see, maybe as a fan, or like him go in there and do what he usually, you know, knock him, spark out, and he can definitely do that. You know, but he can win by boxing as well, I'm sure. You know, he's got a game plan. He's been doing this a long time. Again, it's a case that he doesn't really get the credit he deserves for the improvements he's already made in his career and the improvements he's made in his fighting style, etc. So
I think we'll just leave it on this. Obviously, whoever's successful in boxing, if you're really good at what you do, you're always going to get criticism, because you're either not fighting someone else because you're fighting someone, or you're always going to rub someone up the wrong way no matter how good you are. Do you agree?
Yeah, but look, for him, he's never shied away from a challenge. You know, and others have.
Absolutely. All right then. Nah, I'm saying nothing. That's from you, not me. Frank Smith, thanks for talking to Into Boxing. Fingers crossed we can catch up before fight week's over.
Thanks, mate. Good to see you. Appreciate it.